Come on. Okay, so today in our third grade classroom, we are going to be going over how to be an information detective. Information detective just means that we're going to look at resources we would use during research to decide whether they're safe or not safe and whether if they're true or not true. So, unfortunately, not all information is true or safe. So we have to investigate it. We have to check to see if it's safe or not safe. Why would we do that? Why would we need to check the information? To check if it's correct or right. If we have an assignment, like if Ms. Hernandez gives you an assignment and I want you guys to give me the right information, what's going to happen if you use the wrong information, or if the resource you're using is not right or true? Yes, Yanali. You might not pass. You might get the answer wrong. And it's okay to get the answer wrong, but that's why we have to check our resources. Because if we get the answer wrong because our resource was wrong, that's not really our fault. We have to double check to make sure that the resource we are given is right so that we know the right information. Okay? So, looking at this picture, would you eat that? I don't know what that is. Would you eat it? If you want to go up and look closer at the picture, yes. No, you wouldn't eat it? All right, waterfall. Okay, what if, do you see the guy on the left? What is he? The guy on the left is a chef. So if he told you that it was good, would you trust him? No, but he's a chef. That's his job. It's his job to know the really, really good foods. So would you trust him? I have some no, some yes. If it's his job to tell you whether or not the food is good and he's like, this is good, I've tried it myself, I tested it, I've tasted it, you should eat it. Yeah, would you trust him because it's his job?
I think so.
Yes, some people might, some people might not. It's kind of crazy looking. What about the lady who has the face mask on because she's not feeling good? What if she's like, I tried it, but I think it's still good. Would you trust her? No, because who knows why she's sick? Maybe the food made her sick. Okay. So, would you believe the chef or the random lady? The chef, because that's his job. Oh, yeah. See, if the lady who's sick, maybe she ate it and maybe she's going to throw up. Yes, Bridget. See, you could trust the chef, but you might still need to check it, and that's okay. That's okay because even if you find a good resource and the person checked it, you might still need to also check it. And that's okay. That's okay. It's always good to double check or find somebody who will double check with you. Okay? So, thankfully, our school made it easy for us. Okay? So, on Clever, which is where you log in as your students, we have something called Mac and Via. Okay, that is where you could find books, you can find articles, and you can find databases. Those things are already checked by the school, by the people who wrote them. So those are already checked by people whose job it is to check those resources. So with those resources, be safe. Yes, because somebody has already checked them. What if you just wanted to type a question into Google? Is that always safe, Bridget? No, because it might be dangerous. It might have the wrong information. Okay. What if we were talking about animals? Okay. Is it better to use the school resources because they're already checked, or to just use Google? The school resources. Why? Because what? Yes, because if you click on one outside of the school resources, it might be the wrong link. Very good job, Eder. So in Mackenvia, you have two resources that we're going to use later this year. We have the Britannica Elementary, which is like the encyclopedia, and National Geographic. How many of you have heard of National Geographic? No. Inali, you've heard of National Geographic? What is it?
Nobody told me.
Nobody told you? Okay.
But I heard it.
But you've heard of it. So National Geographic also has books, videos, articles, that again have already been checked, are written by authors, not just random people. So those are really good resources. Yes. So when we're looking at resources, we're going to use our information checklist, okay? And I printed some out for you guys. Kaylin, can you pass these out, please? It's your information checklist. So these are the questions that you need to ask yourself to make sure the resources are safe and true. Adriana, she's trying to hand you the paper, sweetheart. So while Kaylin is handing out the papers, Regina, can you read the question in the orange box? Who wrote it? That's super important when we're talking about our resources that we find, because again, do we want just a random person who wrote it? No, we want somebody either whose job it is, somebody we can trust, like with the chef and then the lady who was sick. We would trust the chef over the lady who was sick. So if a teacher wrote it, would you trust it? Yes. Okay. What if a 5-year-old, what if a little kindergarten student wrote it? Probably not. What if a doctor wrote it? Yes. What if the resource is about medicine? Okay? And you had one paper about medicine that the doctor wrote and then another paper about medicine that a teacher wrote. Whose would you trust more? The doctor. Why the doctor? Yes, because it's the doctor's job. Is it my job as a teacher to know about medicine? No. I know a little bit about medicine, but not a lot. Yes, Caitlin.
So I'm gonna give a paper to the end.
Okay, go ahead and just look at the papers that you have, sweetheart. Okay, so who wrote it is very, very important. So if you have a paper again on like building buildings, who builds the buildings? Engineers. I heard somebody say it. Engineers build buildings. So if somebody wrote a paper about building buildings and one person's an engineer and the other person's a doctor, whose paper are you going to read? The engineers, because that's his job. Very good job, Bridget. Okay. Johanna, read the green question. Is it from a safe source? That's the second question we have to ask ourselves. Did we just get it from Google or did we use our school resources? Our school resources, are those safe? Yes, so those would be good. Yes. When you can go to the restroom when Joanna gets back. Okay, and then Juan, read the blue question. Does it look right? So if you look at the blue box, I have right in red and underlined because that's not the right word to use. Okay, the right that should be used is RIGHT. That means correct. The one that I have there means right, like to write something down. So that's why I have it there. I have it like that because that's another question we have to ask. Are there misspelled words? Is the picture look kind of weird? Um is the grammar right or is it messed up? Because if somebody who's misspelling, not using the right grammar, that might not be a source that is safe to trust. Okay? And then Kaylin, can you read the pink box? Recent. Is it recent? Okay. So especially in science, guys, things are constantly changing and changing and changing. So it's very, very important to use resources that are recent. That means they happened now or in the past few years. Are we going to trust a resource from all the way in like 1900s? No, because things have changed a lot. Things have changed a lot since then. So, best thing to do is to make sure it happened or was written in the last like 5 to 10 years. Okay? So, we're going to practice. Okay? We're going to be our detectives. Okay? Everybody has their information checklist? Yes, Eder. Yeah, in the 1900s, they had to use ink to write. They didn't have laptops or anything like that. They used their feather pens. Okay, with ink, yes. So everybody has their information checklist? Yes? Okay, this is our first one. All right. Alonso, read the title. It's in purple. Out on a limb. I know it's kind of hard to see, but the author is Avery Elizabeth Hurt. Okay. She is a author that writes a lot of articles about animals. So she's written a lot of articles about animals. Do you think it's okay to trust her? Yes. And if you look on the bottom, I know it's kind of hard to see, but it says July 2021. How long ago was that? We're in 2024. So 2021 was how many years ago?
3 years.
It was 3 years. Is that a long time?
Yes.
Is it?
Kinda.
A little bit. But again, the best rule is 5 to 10. So as long as it's not longer than 10 years ago, it's still good. So it's recent. All right. What about, again on the bottom, it says Nat Geo Kids. So it's National Geographic. Did we say National Geographic was a good source to trust? Did we? Is it one of the resources we have in our library? Yes, it's one of the resources we have in our library. So is it a resource we can trust? Okay, so it's not old, it's recent. The author is trustworthy. She's written a lot of papers. It's her job. Everything is spelled correctly and is from a resource that we can trust. So is this a good resource to use? Yes. Yes. Give me a thumbs up if you think it is. Thumbs down if you think it's not. Okay. Very nice. Yes, it is a good resource. All right, let's look at this one. Teachers actually live at school.
No.
Just with the title, does that sound right? No, look at the picture. Do I sleep on my desk? No, I don't sleep on my desk. That's crazy. I sleep at my house. So do teachers live at school? No, teachers do not live at school. Okay, thank you. So no, the teachers do not live at school. But let's go ahead and keep checking. Because maybe Go ahead. Go ahead. There you go. All right, so maybe we can trust it. Maybe the title is just a little weird, but let's check the author. Okay, so for author, it says anonymous. Do you guys know what anonymous means? No. So anonymous means that a random person wrote it and they don't want you to know who they are. Yes, Kayla. Go sit down. All right. So anonymous means that a random person wrote it and they don't want you to know who they are. Should we trust that? No. So if the author is not listed or it says anonymous, that's probably not a very good source. But let's keep checking it. Let's keep checking it. Alonso, did you have a question? No? Oh, okay. So the date it was written says August 26, 1995. Is that kind of old?
Yeah. I know. I'm 35. Years old. I'm 35. 34. I'm 34. 34 years. 34 years old.
Hold on.
29?
It is 29 years ago. Very good job, Alonso. Kaylin, I need you to stay in your seat. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, so it was 29 years ago. Fun fact, that is my birthday. That is when I was born. But yes, so Adolfo, please get into your seat, sweetheart. So yes, I would not trust an article from when I was born. That was 29 years ago. Okay, so the author can't be trusted. It does look a little silly. We don't know where it's from, and it's a little bit older than articles we would want, because remember, the oldest is 10. 10 years is a good, like, it's not good, but it's okay. 10 years old is okay. But 29, that's too old. Okay? So, what we are going to do now, did you have a question, Eder? What's up? A year's 365 days. Yes, so imagine 29. 29 years. That's a lot of days. Go ahead, Kaylin. Okay, so what we're going to do now, okay, we've done it. I've showed you. We've done it together. Now you're going to do it on your own. On my board, I have different articles. You are going to put a post-it note with either yes, you can trust it and why, or no, you can't trust it and why. So you can put this article is true because the author is well known, or this article is true because not true because the author is a cat. Okay? So you're going to put if it's true and then why. Okay? Hello. So watching myself teach was definitely very interesting. I noticed that I had a very serious face. I should probably work on smiling more, or I don't know, I just seemed really serious the whole time. I am not sure about the camera angle. Please let me know if recording on Canva is okay or if it was too much movement. I'm thinking maybe just not active like monitoring during that lesson. It is something that our district pushes, but for the sake of recording and not getting motion sickness, maybe just doing the lesson at my desk and recording it like that. But please let me know if Canva is okay or if the moving around is okay, just how I can improve that. I think after reviewing the video, there was a few vocabulary words that I should have pre-taught, like anonymous. The students didn't know what anonymous meant. Recent. Some of the students didn't know what recent meant. So if I had just looked more thoroughly at the words I was going to be using, if I had pre-taught some of those words, that might have helped them. They did seem to understand the lesson when I did let them do their group work. They were able to tell me whether the articles were trustworthy or not trustworthy, and they were able to tell me why, but they're still working on their writing skills. So I had the sentence stem in the PowerPoint like you saw, and I also wrote it bigger on the board. But I'm thinking if I had printed it out first, if I had printed out just like little, instead of doing the sticky notes, if I had printed out the papers for them to write on with the sentence stems already there, I might have made the the activity flow a little bit easier. I also, the students did seem to get a little distracted at the beginning. Maybe I could have them look at the resources on their own screens. That would have been good. I think it would have opened the door for them to get a little more distracted. But I also think it might have opened the door for them to be a little more focused and engaged in the learning if they were able to see it themselves. For it to be more student led, because I do feel like even though it was direct teaching, I do feel like the students could have led more. In hindsight, the way I would have liked to have done the opening of the lesson is maybe giving them the articles first, letting them look at them, ask them, do you trust this article? Why or why not? And see their reasoning first, just to gauge their prior knowledge and see if they have been taught anything about resources or things like that. So that would have been an interesting activity to start with. Maybe for next time, that would have been a good idea. Sentence stems and pre-teaching the vocabulary. I took notes during my video. I think it went really well. I think it went really well. The sticky notes were good. They loved writing on them, but I only had the articles on the board. What I should have done was print out multiple sets of the articles so that they could have them on their desk to see them. I think that would have helped them view the articles more easy rather than going up, writing, and then sticking on the sticky note. They would have had that there in front of them rather than just on the board. So I think that would have also helped. Overall, it definitely needed some improvements, but it definitely also did well. I think they understood the concepts. Looking at their sticky notes after they left, they did the reasonings. They said I had one about a penguin, and the author was Dr. Flipper the penguin, and they said this is not trustworthy because penguins are not authors. There was another one who had a cat scientist, and again, the author was anonymous, so they said they couldn't trust the anonymous author. There was one where the date was 1996, so they said, no, we can't trust it. So they were able to understand the concept, explain why and why they could not trust the articles, and if they could trust and not trust the articles. So it went really well.